even with tame expectations for Captain America Brave New World, I still feel like it was just fine. Alright, so I don't think this is going to be a real glamorous review. I'm just going to get straight to the point with Captain America Brave New World. It was okay. It was literally so okay. Like, there was nothing great about this movie. Actually, there's one. This is a spoiler review, so if you've not seen the movie, click off, watch the movie, and then come back. Alright, spoiler warn. Harrison Ford's Red Hawk was really, really cool. But as most people are probably complaining about, we barely saw him. So that was the best aspect of the movie. Everything else was just fine. I thought the story was pretty good. It was interesting. But I just never was emotionally connected to any of the characters, any of the side characters. I just didn't care. And that was the thing about this movie. I felt like I was just sitting there watching it, which technically that's what you do with every movie, but usually I like to immerse myself in the world. And I just didn't really do that with this movie. Like, I was there, I was watching it, I was sitting there, I was paying attention, I thought this story was interesting, but I just couldn't immerse myself in the experience. It was just like I was watching it, and that was it. I don't really know how to explain that feeling, but I usually love to dive into the world and really just belong. Like, if I'm really there and I'm invested and I'm not distracted. I found myself daydreaming a few times throughout the movie where I just like lost focus. And I'm not someone that usually does that in the movie theater. I'm usually locked in. There's a few times I was like, whoa. Pay attention, dude. Like, the movie's still on. And it's just because the movie was just kind of boring. I mean, there was good action sequences. Don't get me wrong. Like, everything, nothing was bad in my opinion. I don't think this movie is a train wreck that it's getting like kind of demolished for. Seems like Rotten Tomato scores and a lot of different reviews online. Some people are acting like it's horrible. It's not horrible. It is a decent movie. But when it was all said and done, I felt literally nothing. Like, literally nothing. I thought the Red Hawk stuff was cool, as I said. I think Harrison Ford had a big screen presence, as he usually does. Kind of even more so than Anthony Mackie did. I thought Anthony Mackie did a fine job, but that was it. He did a fine job. It wasn't a groundbreaking performance, right? Or not for literally anybody. I think there's just so many things that they could have done differently. I think this is where you could have added, Smart Hawk or Hawk back into this. This is where you could introduce She-Hulk, even though I do not like She-Hulk. But this was basically a sequel to the Incredible Hulk from 2008. I mean, we're talking about 17 years ago. We're doing a sequel to that. It's like this movie required a lot of homework, which I did not do, did not care enough to. I cared more about the new season of Cobra Kai coming out. So I didn't rewatch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That show was just okay to me. I didn't care for it. The Incredible Hulk, I do not think is that good of a movie. I think the Hulk's cool in it or whatever, but not that good of a movie. Definitely didn't feel like rewatching it. There's some elements of Eternals in this movie. I've only seen Eternals once. That's not a movie I want to rewatch again. So this is basically a sequel to three of the most like bland or worse or just not that great of the MCU movies or projects. This was a sequel to that, so that's already a recipe for disaster. We're doing a sequel to Incredible Hulk, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Eternals. I mean, you really can't expect a movie to be that great if those are the movies you're sequeling to. I think you should have had Hulk in it. I mean, think about it. I get it. We want to make this a solo Anthony Mackie, Falcon, Sam Wilson becoming Captain America solo movie. But think about it. Chris Evans, Captain America, and Winter Soldier, that was his movie. It wasn't like Civil War where you had all these Avengers. That was his movie, and you still had Black Widow next to him the entire time. Scarlett Johansson, a huge star, next to him the entire movie. And it doesn't take away from it still being his movie, right? Spider-Man No Way Home was Tom's movie, but Doctor Strange was still in it. So I don't know if that was the reason why they didn't do it or they just didn't think of it. I think you could have had the Incredible Hulk in the movie, Mark Ruffalo, even a little bit, right? They could have done something to make this movie a little bit more memorable, a little bit more like, oh, this is a must rewatch for this reason. And it's like, I don't know. This movie was there. It was fine. I don't think it was bad. And I do think it does add some, connective tissue to possibilities of, you know, the future of this universe, kinda. It kind of establishes that Sam Wilson will maybe orchestrate the Avengers, possibly. I don't know. Again, spoilers, we see Bucky Barnes guest appear cameo. That was pretty cool, especially mainly knowing because Thunderbolts is coming out in a couple months, so we'll see how that plays out with that. This says they reference that he's going to be a congressman or something. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know what's going on. And that's the thing with the future of the MCU right now. We don't really know what's going on. We don't know who the Avengers are. We don't know who's going to be fighting Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom come next year. It's literally next year. We have Thunderbolts coming out, and then we have Fantastic Four in the summer, which I'm hoping Fantastic Four is cool because they're probably going to be some of the lead Avengers in that movie. We know Tom Holland's Spider-Man will probably be involved, and I don't know. Are they just going to be relying on, because of the multiverse, we can bring back a bunch of famous actors and bring them in? But you still want a core now Avengers, and we just don't know who those guys are right now. We know that Sam Wilson's Captain America will probably be a part of that, right? This is pretty clear from this movie. But there's just so many questions in the MCU right now, and this movie kind of like alludes to certain things, but there's not enough certain projects leading to the next Avengers movie that's gonna make a lot of sense, honestly, for Doomsday. But hopefully Doomsday is just that good to where it doesn't matter. You bring in Tom Holland, maybe we have some multiverse stuff where we bring back Toby and Andrew, maybe there's some stuff where we bring in Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, there's things that could make the movie, pizzazz, or I don't know why I just said pizzazz, pop. I don't know, good. You know what I'm trying to say. The point is, there's so much unknown, and hopefully Thunderbolts is good. I'm thinking that one could be a sleeper pick. That's what I'm banking on. It's not a movie where I'm like, right now, I'm not really that excited for Thunderbolts, like at all. But I think it does have the elements of a movie that could surprise you. And that's kind of what I'm looking at it. Captain America Brave New World, I didn't really expect it to be like, groundbreaking. I didn't expect it to be like one of my favorite movies in the MCU. I was hoping I liked it, and I kind of liked it, but it was also like, you know what I mean? I kind of landed somewhere between 2.5, 2.75, maybe 3 stars, 3 stars max. And yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. And that's kind of the point of this movie review, is that it's just okay. If you loved it, if you liked it, awesome. I mean, I do think there's elements of reasons why I could see someone liking it or liking it a lot. But I just didn't really care. I didn't do anything emotionally for me to make me go, wow, this is awesome. I liked it. They did everything okay. The acting performances were solid. It did have a little bit of the MCU random jokes here and there that were kind of just like, I will say there was, in my theater, you could tell when the MCU was doing some of its weird random jokes, which I'm usually someone that isn't as big of a critique of those things that some people hate about the MCU. But my theater did not laugh at all at multiple of those moments where you can tell that they just did a random joke to suck the life out of a tension scene, or just not even a tension scene, just randomly. And nobody in my theater laughed. And my theater was pretty packed. I mean, basically most of the seats were filled. And it was just silent. And I remember just sitting there thinking, like, that's kind of funny. I thought it was funny that nobody was laughing. I could notice it. It was weird because it was clear they just tried to make a joke and not a single reaction in the crowd. All right, so that's it. This movie doesn't have much more for me to talk about. Red Hulk was cool. Wish we got more of them. Everything else was just completely okay, and I don't know if I will really revisit this movie much at all. Maybe I'll watch it one more time in my lifetime, unless it really surprises me next time and I have a change of heart. That could be it. I was like, that's it. It could be a very one and done type film, I think, for most people, and those kind of movies exist. But for MCU fans, superhero fans in general, we want a little more than that. So, kind of a disappointment. Alright, so if you're new to this channel, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm going to be making more superhero content. I have some Batman tier list videos, so if you're a big fan of Batman, go check that out. I have Batman movie rankings, tier lists, and I have a Batman actors tier list. I'm going to make more superhero projects in the future, or more superhero content in the future. So whatever. If you're into any of that, subscribe and be along the ride for this journey, because more's coming soon. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.